What's going on, everyone? Rob, good to see you in the chat, man. Mr. Neil Gang, Steal Yo Girl. I like it, man. That's so funny. I didn't realize you were simping as well. Seems like everyone's simping these days, man. How's everyone doing, though? I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm just getting set up here. We're going to be having, a cool chat today, talking about QS. I don't know if you guys saw the news. I posted it in the group this morning, but couple firms have come out and said QS is a big ol' scam. Right? A couple of those, Scorpion Capital, and apparently Melvin has come out and said that too, or who was it? Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters came out and said it as well. And we're going to chat about it. We're going to chat about, should we take a trade on it? If we do, what should that trade look like? Stuff like that. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, just by the way, for anyone who's new to the stream, my name is Sean Ryan. I'm one of the co-founders here at Predicting Alpha, and we run the stream to just take a look at the market from a quantitative perspective. Right? A lot of the times, we look at the news and we see it, but we don't know necessarily what to do about it. Or we have a stock that we like, we have an idea, but we don't know the best way to take advantage of it. Well, on this stream, we want to go over your ideas. We want to find what is the best way to be taking certain plays. Let me get this put over here. QS claimed they had tech that they didn't and is now trying to develop it, I believe. So yeah, Eric, I actually saw something very similar to that. I just took a quick look at this Seeking Alpha article here. So shares are down pretty significantly for QS right now. I think it rebounded a little bit. Right, it's down 6.66%. So, Scorpion claims that the company is no different than other recently exposed SPAC promotions and EV frauds. It alleges that many of the claims the company made, such as fast charging to 80% in under 15 minutes, are false. Muddy Waters makes similar claims. No response. 11.5% of float is short interest. On March 31st, Volkswagen approved a second $100 million investment. Cool. So, a little bit of sketchy news coming out. But first thing that we have to think about is, where is this news coming from, right? It's coming from Scorpion Capital, which is it's one of those short firms, right? They lean short all the time. They look for companies like this. And, it's definitely beneficial for them if news like this catches traction, whether or not it's totally true, right? We have to think about that, right? This is not news coming from a totally objective source. This is news coming from someone who benefits from it. We have to keep that in account, right? Just like anyone else, right? It's who benefits from the situation? That's probably the person behind it in some way, right? So we need to keep that in mind, right? Scorpion Capital benefits from QuantumScape stocks going down, right? So today's been a great day for them, right? Down 6.66% so far. Now, what if we come to the terminal? What do we actually see here? So we see a couple of kind of interesting things. So as it currently stands, implied volatility hasn't actually gone up that much, right? We see maybe a tick up in implied vols, right? We're looking at a 1 point increase. No crazy changes in share price really. This thing's pretty volatile. If you look here, right, it went from 64, it's down at 40 now, right, over the last while. So a 6% drop from 40 to 38 doesn't really surprise anyone too much. So now if we come down here though, we take a look. Let's look at the realized vol first. Right, historic realized vol has been extremely high across the term structure, or you know what I mean. All these different expirations, they've moved like crazy. And what's cool about that is, if you look here at the vol cone, you might be saying, where the heck is the current? Right, where's the current volatility on here? It's actually on the minimum. We're currently seeing the lowest levels of implied vol we've seen for this stock. And that's not because necessarily volatility is cheap right now. It's just because it's seen such high levels of volatility in the past for sustained periods of time. But it doesn't necessarily mean we'll go back up to that level. Taking a look at the term structure here, we see in the short term. Oh, there we go. We got a little bit of a reprice here. 1 second. Let's see what's changed. What do you guys think of that? Every 15 minutes, auto updates all the numbers now. It's kind of cool, eh? It's kind of cool. Let's see here. Okay, so we see a small uptick in the front month vols here. Super steep short-term skew here. All right, look at this. Right, the out of the money puts and out of the money calls are going crazy. So if this is what it's looking like, one thing that I was thinking, what do you guys think about this idea? I think about companies like GSX that had this happen as well. I'm thinking that we could maybe buy like maybe like a vertical if we have a directional view, or what if we just bought like, what if this thing does realize more vol and we just buy like a straddle? We don't know which way it's gonna go. What if we just buy some vol? All right, what do you think about that? I feel like that's maybe not a terrible idea either. But let's come over here. Let's take a look at QS. Let's say we want to go to the 10 days here. Let's see if we buy an at the money vertical. Looks something like that, but we don't want that. Let's see. Or if we want to go to the downside, I guess, right? Let's see here. No, that's not very good. Yeah, you have to go pretty far out of the money to get anything worthwhile, actually. What if we do a 1-3-2 fly? Let's see here. $5 we'll call it. 38. Let's see. I'm gonna buy. Oh wait, call what? Let's do 38. And then down 5, 33. Or let's maybe go 6. And then 29. So we could get something like this on, right? Where, we're risking $120 per lot to potentially make about $480 per lot if the stock trends down, right? And we have a pretty huge range here, which I like to see. Let's see if we bring that range in a bit, do we get something a little better going here? Maybe if we go 4, 38 to 34 to 32. Let's take a look. What do we think? Risk 500, you get a 6 to 1, little over almost a 7 to 1 risk reward here. Betting on QS trending down. All right, we're taking advantage of that put skew that we see here. But the one thing that gets me a little tripped up is just because this news came out doesn't necessarily mean the stock is is going to trend down again. Right? If everyone thinks it's going to now, it's probably not. Like, it's just the way we've seen it, right? So you could maybe even structure something cheap to the upside, just betting on some irrationality in the market, some uncertainty, some overreaction correcting, things like that. Let's see. So if we do on this side, let's say we do 39. Let's go up 6 to 45. I'll go up 3 to 48. What do you think of that? That's kind of a fun structure. All right, so we risk 90 cents to potentially make, oh, what's going on here? $90 to potentially make $500. 1 to 5 risk reward on the upside here. Just betting on it, trending back up, reverting a bit. Let's maybe make it a bit tighter, see what that looks like. Let's go 43 and 45. Similar enough. About 5-to-1 risk reward. Right, so something like this I think makes a lot of sense to put on, right? Put on this, and you can put on this. There you go. Nah, the risk reward's not good enough to do something like that, but if you think it's going to trend back up, put on something like this. The nice thing is the market's giving us skew on both sides, right? So we have skew that's going to the call side, and we have skew going to the put side, so we can take advantage of one or the other. If you think the stock's going to sit still, I don't know if I'd be coming in here and selling vol, just because we've seen it go so much higher. We've seen this thing go to the moon on vol, and we're sitting at all-time lows right now. So what would be the point of coming in here and selling it? No earnings that we need to be aware of, really. Earnings is not for another month, basically 30 days or so. So I'm not too concerned about that. And that's it. That's the analysis on the stock. It looks like, it's a tough one to really make a clear call on. The nice thing is we have skew in both directions, so we can make a bet either way we think. Vol's at all-time lows here. So you could also just buy some volatility, right? So you could, let's say, go out, buy a straddle. You could buy a 132 fly to the call side, 132 fly to the put side. I don't think I'd be coming out here and selling vol. It's just, it could keep going lower, but I'm not seeing the data to support making that trade. Any questions about this stock? If not, I wanted to play around with the scanner here a little bit for maybe 10 minutes, and then that would be today's live. So let me know if you guys have questions about that. Nice. Cool. Okay, well, what we're going to do now is we are going to do a little scan here, see what we can find. Let's see if we got any short vol opportunities going on right now. So we've got a lot on the table, it actually looks like. So an interesting one is FNKO appears to have gone from being a long vol opportunity to a short vol opportunity here. It was on the long vol scanner for a while. So we see the stock appears to have calmed down quite a bit, not moving anywhere near as much. Implied vols are just getting crushed. Really, Ned? You pop in just to roast me, man? Come on. What's up, man? Okay, so vols just got absolutely smoked recently. And the last month, disappeared. We're right back at the median here. So let's talk about what's going on with FNKO. So FNKO, they make that, like, if we look up what they are, they make these things, I'm pretty sure. These things? Pretty sure they sell them at like GameStop. So they make these, and I actually think it's a cool idea. It fits their business model, is they're turning these all into NFTs, right? And you know what it is when you get into the NFT space or the crypto space, your stock just goes crazy, right? Extremely volatile. And that's why when they first announced this news, I was out here saying we should be long vol on this stock. And if we take a look at what's happened to that stock over the last month or so, you see that it's chopped around like crazy. In fact, in each of these days, it's just been up and down, up and down. It's been a really good stock to be long vol on. But it looks like now maybe things are going to calm down a little bit. Right? That's what our forecast is sort of telling us here. So what we can do is we could come in here and look to sell some vol. Right? Maybe we can look at the 30-day vol here. Right? It's still a pretty high level, and we're in a pretty low vol environment for the market. Right? If we come here, take a look at the VIX. You can see here, VIX is pretty low. So let's go back to FNKO. All right, we're in a low vol environment, but this thing's still pumped up. We could come in here and sell some vol probably. All right. Would we look to sell the longer dated? Yeah, maybe we would look maybe 60 or 90 days out. Let's see, that straddle. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. We could do something like this. Right? Right, we're just looking to sell some vol here. Nothing too crazy. We think the stock's going to move less than what the market's implying. That would be the view. And, you know, we'd want to just do some more research here. Do we have any news that's come out recently? Wow, it's actually not as bullish as I would have thought. Basically, not much talk about it. Not super bullish, not super bearish. Yeah, no news since the whole NFT thing. It looks like it's kind of dropped off the map a bit. Could be an opportunity to sell some vol. All right, if we come over to FNKO StockTwits, let's have a look. All right, watchers haven't really changed. Message volume's dropping off. And they're bullish, sure, but there's not a ton of them. Come on. All right, so you see it here, right? Message volume spiked up like crazy. It's gone now, though. And we have the retail guys all still hodling the bag. Yeah, looks like an okay opportunity to sell some vol here. Not bad. News has dropped off, hype's dropped off, retail sentiment's down, or not. It's not enough to matter. You know, one of my thoughts when going long vol here was like, what if this thing gets picked up by you know, Wall Street Bets or something? Because if we look at like what the market cap is here, you know, it's only $1 billion. It's a small company. It could get pushed around for sure. What else do we have on the list here? We got GSX still on the list. Oh, man. That's crazy. TAL, anyone know what that is? TAL's on the list. Yeah, there's a couple of these companies still have some mildly pumped up vol. Huge put volume recently. Jeez. A lot of downside risk being priced in over the next 30 days. Do we have earnings? Soon, Ned. Soon. Okay, we do have earnings coming up. TJ soon? TJ soon. Yeah, no. Let's take a look at TAL. We've got earnings coming up. That spike in the put volume. Lots of put skew in the next 30 days. All right, similar sentiment, just 50% more or less. Not a lot of hype, not a lot of people talking about it. It announced that it will be releasing its numbers, okay. Let's open up this article quick. Yeah, this is one of those companies, just not a lot going on around it. Makes me a little skeptical. Let's see here. Let me do a little check. Okay. Little spike up in the IV30 here. Huge spike in open interest. Okay. Oh man, Ned, that's too much, honestly. It's too much, and like I personally haven't done a ton of relative value stuff, so I wouldn't be most equipped to do it. Exactly, Adam. That's what it is. Figured it out. But you know, you could make a bet to the downside here on their earnings. Might not be a bad idea. Right? The reasons I'm thinking are like no coverage. Let's see. Stock twits. Right? Like no watchers. There's no one looking at this thing. Lots of put buying. Realized move is a little bigger than this implied move here, which is kind of cool. Right? Let's see. Puts did okay. Calls did okay. Yeah, I'd maybe pick up like a 132 fly going into earnings here. I don't think I'd take a short vol trade on it though. It's a little too sketchy for my books. Little too sketchy. And I love that we have this auto update feature now. You guys see how it like refreshes every 15 minutes? It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, let's pick another one to take a look at here. AI. Not taco, AI. Okay, brand new company. Wow, got smoked. Look at this. Boop. Gone. Right, realized vol looks like it's dropped off in the last month, right? So we used to have it up at 118. It's come down to 80. So that's probably what's influencing our view on implied vol. If you look, the implied vol level hasn't really changed, even though realized vol has started to drop off. Now, in the last month, we have seen spikes in some volume. It's not a big deal, though. We see open interest on the rise for both calls and puts. Okay. Lots of call skew being priced in, so risk is to the upside here. Do we have earnings coming up? Something like that? Coming up in the near future. Is the market not really pricing in a move? Interesting. Maybe because the implied vol is just overshadowing at the non-event vol. Let's take a look here. Let's see. It's normal level of call skew that it has. Nothing too crazy. Could we come in here and sell some vol? If we were to sell some vol, we'd want to sell something nearer dated, but it's tricky with the earnings event. Right, so the one thing, this is like why the qualitative research is so important. It's tricky with the earnings event. I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that. Right, you'd want to be, you know, it would represent too much of what I'd want to sell right now, right? Because I'd want to do maybe the 30-day, and earnings would just be like smack in the middle of it. And that would be driving a lot of that vol. It's only had one event, brand new company. We'll have to see as we get closer to the event here. We'll have to see. BIIB. Looks like things have calmed down here a lot. What's with the spike over here? Yeah, things look pretty average over here. Let's have a little look. Let's see. Okay, so that's mediocre results recently. That's good. So is there anything coming out in the near future, though, is what I'm really looking for. Because if not, what we could maybe do... Let's see. Yeah, we could maybe come out here and sell some vol. 4.5, pretty average implied move here. Nothing too crazy. I don't think there's any news really coming up. We could come out here and sell some vol. This looks okay. I wouldn't be looking at something too short dated. Maybe the May 14th, May 21. We'll go somewhere with a little more liquidity. We'll do it at the money since we want more. We don't need as much Vega. And the way we're going to make money on this is as time passes, right? That's really what we're looking for on this. Time passes, we're going to make money. And what I would also suggest we're doing here is we're delta hedging, right? So let's say we get over here, stock's over here now, we want to hedge our deltas. Then we're going to come back over here. We have what, negative 267 deltas? Add that on. What's up?
Fucking spiders hanging right here.
Oh yeah? Oh. Oops. There we go. You can see, flatten it out. Every time it moves, we're just gonna keep it flat. I don't really have, I never really have a directional view unless I'm taking advantage of something like the skew. So that's what I'd be looking to do. Right? Keep our deltas flat. That's it. Right? And that's what I'd be doing for all of these types of plays. Now, the reason why I'd be doing it for these ones and not too concerned when I'm trading something longer dated, more like, that Vega Gang type stuff, is because when we're super far out in time, we don't have a ton of delta. And as the stock moves a bit, it doesn't really change our position much. But when we're trading something a little bit more near dated, we will have that sensitivity to those changes in delta, right? If the stock starts to move and it expires in 20 or 30 days, we're going to want to hedge those deltas, keep them flat, because as it runs, it'll start to pick up more and more. Get a little out of hand sometimes. Now, you don't need to stay on top of it and hedge every one delta, but I would definitely be looking at hedging it let's say, once a day. Right? Once a day, reset your deltas, everything's good. Or you want to set it up so that you hedge with a range, right? Every time you hit 100 delta, you cut 80 of it, something like that. Any questions about that? Analyst, what's going on? Good to see you. Couple companies worth selling a covered call on. No companies for back spreads. Gamma scalps. A couple long vols here. These might be worth taking. Tilray, NVAX, some cool stuff. Let me know what you guys want to do tomorrow. If you want to go over something else, obviously, if something like QS comes up, we can chat about it. What's happening to QS this morning right now? Oh, it's continuing to go down, eh? Jeez. Do you think this thing ends the day down 12 or 13%? Could get messy. Could get messy. Haha. Okay, everyone. At this point, I am going to wrap up this morning's stream. Sorry, man, we usually wrap it up around 11, but it's good to see everyone. I hope everyone here has a great day. And if you haven't already, drop a little like on the video. It's really all we ask. And we will see you all on tomorrow morning's stream. Take it easy.